Welcome to CT Politics TV Live with Joe and Michelle. I'm Michelle Botello, and in for Joe Aguayo tonight is Jimmy J. How's it going, Jimmy?
It's going great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Good Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was wonderful. How about you?
It's good, thank you. Very good.
My
We had a
mother-in-law
special
is a
session
great
today.
cook.
Very nice.
Yeah, so it was really good.
It's nice not to have to cook.
Oh, I loved it. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely. We had a special session today, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh, did you watch all of it or some of it?
I couldn't. I watched some of it. I watched some of the representatives. I caught Gail Mastrio Giovanni, I believe her last name is,
Mm.
and a couple of other representatives. They talked about how they weren't happy that the bill passed. Let's start. What is House Bill 6001?
House Bill 6001 was suspension of certain gas taxes, free bus rides, bottle deposits, premium pay programs,
Mm.
and talking about energy. So they
Uh,
took all those topics and discussed it in House Bill 6001, trying to add amendments. The Republicans tried to pass a couple amendments that were voted on during this session, and we can go over that if you'd like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And before we get into that, I know at 5:30, Nicole Claritas Ditria, Republican representative from the 105th State House District, will be joining us at 5:30. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, I was kind of going back and forth with what they were stating. I know the House and the Senate, they had obviously, as we stated, these special legislative sessions to propose the increased funding for the Connecticut Energy Assistance Program. That was a big one
Yeah, they talked
because,
about that a lot.
and they talk about make sure you apply in time and the qualifications to be able to get this assistance as well. And we'll be talking about that as well. And most important, I know Governor Lamont. He started the whole session with stating that we have the lowest gasoline prices in the Northeast, which kind of took me back a little bit because they're pretty high. I traveled actually for Thanksgiving back and forth to Massachusetts. I didn't see that. I saw that we're pretty comparable to other states. So I'm not sure what he was stating with that one, but he did state that we have the lowest gasoline prices in the Northeast. But he did also realize that people, even with those gasoline prices, people are still suffering. He wants to continue gas reduction until January 1st. Excuse me, gas price reduction until January 1st. It will go slowly down in tax cuts to 5 cents and then normal procedure on May 1st. Also, free bus service will continue. And he stated that we've seen an uptick in bus service, which he thought was a good thing. But for some reason, the feds won't allow this to continue for more than 1 year, which I'm not sure about that policy and why that is. And that goes up goes up till May 1st. And then he stated in regards to energy and electric prices and home heating oil, he's trying to make life easier for payers here, and for residents here in Connecticut. He states he's been working closely with legislative leaders to deal with Millstone, the carbon-free nuclear power organization. This deal was made about 4 years ago. And the way it works is it'll pay dividends at 4.999 a kilowatt an hour. And this paying Connecticut tax payers $90 million with credits that have accrued, which will save residents about $8 to $9. And this is monthly. You'd be saving $8 to $9 monthly, which doesn't seem like much, but he continues to state this is a good thing. And then, of course, there's Operation Fuel, which will help residents and support people. I believe Eversource will contribute $10 million to Operation Fuel, and UI, which is United Illuminating, will contribute $3 million. Now, again, as stated earlier, you need to apply for this, which will be open in about 3 weeks. And I believe the qualifications is to, your income has to be 75,000 or less. And he also spoke about applying for energy efficiency products, solar panels. I believe people come out and do an estimate on your home, and there's a way to get energy credits as well. So he seemed to have a positive aspect about this, but the whole legislative session that was supposed to extend tax credits and help for Connecticut didn't seem to go well today.
It did not seem to go well at all. So I was listening to some of the House Republicans, specifically Harry Aurora, talk about why the increase happened. All right, why the 50% increase in electricity happened, why the 24% of gas, et cetera, right? Home heating oil.
Right.
So it was very interesting to hear that Connecticut is we don't have any of our own electricity. We don't have any of our own gas. We don't have oil. So we have to import everything, right? And it's a free market. It's a free market out there. But when the state of Connecticut went to go buy their gas, their oil to heat the state of Connecticut, they'd never even bid it. Right? This is straight out of Harry Aurora. They never bid it. They just said, all right, whatever the price increase is, it is.
Right.
So they never even searched for other sources of energy. They just said, okay. And they never even gave any consideration. This was the point of Harry Aurora. They never gave any consideration of how it would affect the local taxpayers, just, everyday.
Right.
So that was very interesting to find out.
Well, I mean, the way he started too was, talking about the dividends and how that money would be made up from only Eversource and United Illuminating. And like you're stating, why wasn't there maybe type of outsourcing with other companies to make it easier? So that's a good question.
I need to get somebody on this for the show to interview and ask them. I would love to ask them, why wasn't it bid out? Why wasn't other sources sought out to try to make it cheaper on us? Right?
Absolutely.
That would be an awesome question.
Right.
He also stated in some of his remarks that because of the increase of what the state of Connecticut, the providers have to pay and all the delivery fees, et cetera, it's going to cost the citizens of Connecticut $1.5 billion more this year than it did last year. Right. So how are we making that money? Who's paying that money? It's a $1.5 billion. And you just stated a couple minutes ago that Eversource and UI are helping how much? Probably, I think it was a total of about.
So I believe Eversource, is 10 million and UI 3 million.
Right. So 13 million in assistance from them of an increase of 1.5 billion is really nothing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nothing. Right.
I agree.
So all the LIHEAP help that we are getting this year is only the middle class is going to see zero benefit from it. Zero. Yeah. So a family of two that makes less than, and it wasn't 75,000. I think 75 was for a family of four.
Family of four, exactly.
So a family of two under 55,000, I believe, will only see a 4% reduction.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
So there is zero, there really is a zero assistance coming from anybody this year.
Yeah, I was hoping to see some great policy come out of this legislative session. I was hoping to see people go there with, positive and say, we're going to do this and this. And unfortunately, from that it was, you wonder if it would have made a big difference, a huge difference if they did vote for it. I don't know the percentages. I don't know what it would have saved taxpayers. And we will do a show actually on the Connecticut Taxpayers Union, who is
Right.
a lobbyist to try to help our taxpayers. We will work for you. And it's interesting. They we had they had the commissioner on from DEEP. I don't recall her name, but she kept stating, this is beyond our control, border-wise, if you will. The Russian, war, the war in Ukraine, the fight against climate change, all this good stuff. And you wonder sometimes, even though this has been going on for a while, this should be taken into consideration. Plus they've had money from the feds coming in. So why wasn't this planned a long time ago? Winter's going to get cold.
Question. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's funny how it's funny how they was just stating like this is something new, but the governor is on it. He did state, he was happy about all the policies they're going through. So I guess we'll just continue to see. I don't know.
Well, Representative Ferrero and Representative Walker, I can't recall what districts are from. When during the session, they stood up and they asked, they saw a 12% increase in applications for LIHEAP and did nothing about it. They did. Yes. And they're currently still doing nothing about it because come January 1st, all the good things and all the help that was provided starts going away.
Right.
So, and, here's something I really I want to wait and ask a representative, but here's my question. There's $127 million in the Connecticut Investment Fund right now. That's just sitting there with nothing allocated to it. Nothing. I believe the last estimate was, I can't remember right now because I'm confused. I have two topics going on the Hero Pay, which I want to get to later.
Yes.
And then the LIHEAP money. But there's so everybody right now, the question on everybody's mind and everybody should be asking their representative is, if there's $127 million in the Connecticut Investment Fund, why can't we get any more help? Why can't the middle class get any more help? Why are these programs not being funded or bolstered to give us a little relief in a very, very hard time right now?
Well, I know I saw a couple of Republican representatives were pretty upset that this didn't pass, and they were stating that the same thing you're stating. People need help. Their constituents need help. They were elected for these, leaders were elected for a reason. And again, it's to work for their constituents. Why would they? I know one of the representatives asked, first of all, why this bill was all why all these policies were put in one bill.
Right.
You had stated, if you don't mind stating it again, this House Bill 6001 was. Do you remember?
Yep. It was what was it? Suppression of certain gas taxes, free bus rides, bottle deposits, premium pay programs, and the energy, all smushed into one.
So why couldn't we separate those and just?
I believe that was one of the amendments that was brought to the floor, was to separate them, and they split down party lines. The Democrats said nay. Republicans, obviously said yes. So, Michelle, we got to take our first break of the night. And after the break, we're going to bring on two special guests. We're going to bring on Dr. Amy Chai, as well as Representative Nicole Claritas
Deidre.
Deitria,
Sounds
right?
great.
I hope I said that right. Nicole Claritas Deitria. So stick around after the break.
CT Politics TV and the Connecticut Taxpayers Union present Unaffordable America with Daniel Kent Newmeyer, Joe Patrina's band Little House, focusing on Connecticut.
Now get yourself ready, go cat go. Ooh yeah.
Entertaining and taking an educational look at nonpartisan issues of affordable living in America.
Born in a land where we wave 'em high.
All points of view are welcome.
And we got blue angels climbing in the sky. I'm the luckiest guy in America. I'm the luckiest man born in America.
Join the Connecticut Taxpayers Union right now at ctpolitics.tv.
Born in America.
Hi, Amy.
Hi. Are you guys warm?
We are. It's nice out. Actually, it was a nice day today. It was nice and warm. It wasn't as cold as this fall. The fall's been really nice. It's been mild.
It
and
has been.
So I'm afraid to see what winter's going to bring us.
I know. Well, thank goodness for a little bit of global warming because it's pretty
It's true.
cold. It's going to
It's
be a
true.
rough winter.
You need
All
global
right.
warming, exactly.
We need a little more global warming in Connecticut. Just kidding. We hate global warming. It's bad.
That's right.
It's
Hello,
really bad.
everybody. Welcome back to CT Politics TV Live with our guest, Dr. Amy Chai. Hello, doctor. And
Hello.
our other guest via telephone is Nicole Claritas Deitria. Hello, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Can
How
you
are
hear
you?
me?
We can hear you great. Thanks
I
for coming
am in the
on.
car. I apologize.
Oh, no
Well,
problem.
No
problem.
worries. Just be safe there, ma'am.
So,
I'm
Nicole, you were
hands-free, no worries.
a good girl. Nicole, you are a representative for the 105th district. Is that correct?
That is correct. The wonderful towns of Seymour, Derby, Beacon Falls.
Oh, wonderful. And elected in 2017. Is that right?
Yes, that was my first term.
First term. Awesome. Congratulations. So how's everything going, first of all?
Thank you. Everything's going well. We just finished special session, as you know, so we're wrapping up this last 2 years, and we're off to another session starting January.
What did you think about this special session?
There was a lot of important things we had in the special session, and I'm sure you heard one of the things we tried to break it up. It was multiple bills you may have or issues, and we wanted to vote on them separately because they were all very important individually, and we just didn't think it was prudent to put it in one big bill and have just one yes or no vote.
We were just talking about that. Why wouldn't they allow that? Why wouldn't they just separate those policies?
It could be a variety of reasons. They wanted just to get us on the hook for this vote. And didn't care, because a lot of people like things in bills and don't like them. But if there are 4 or 5 different things in a bill and I liked 2 of them, that may force me to vote for it, even though the other 3 I didn't like.
It's all politics, right?
That's right.
Yes.
So what's your comment on the vote that we saw this afternoon about the gas tax amendment?
Well, specifically the gas tax amendment, they're phasing it out. So within the next 3 or 4 months, it'll go back to what it was originally before I had the gas tax holiday. And our residents of Connecticut need that now more than ever. We asked to extend it, the gas tax holiday, for another few months, and it was voted down by the legislature. I'll right along party lines.
Well, I was going to say, this is the time it's needed most. People are suffering, inflation and prices with food and gas and what have you. Why do you think they shot it down? Why do you think the Democrats in the House had that idea that it would be okay to not extend this?
You know, that's a great question. And we asked that many times today. And their answer was, we feel that this is enough.
Oh,
We asked
okay.
them 25 different ways, and they feel that this was enough of a break. We didn't feel it was, and we wanted to extend and or expand it, and they didn't feel that that was the right way to go.
So it's literally they
We
just didn't
also-
feel
we also
it was the
wanted-
right way to go.
Yes, and we also wanted to extend the gas holiday to include diesel tax. And that was another amendment, and they voted that down along party lines as well. Now, as you know, all our truckers in Connecticut now will have to, they're paying extra with their diesel tax. They're not getting a break on it, and they're not going to pick it up out of the goodness of their hearts. So they're going
Right.
to pass that down to us, the consumer. So that's going to
That's
make everything we do every day more expensive.
That's right.
Yeah, we were hoping to see, okay, so once the Democrats came into office, okay, now everything's going to work out. Everybody's going to work together. We're going to work for the Connecticut consumer, but it doesn't seem like it's going to go that way.
No, it didn't. We've had record surpluses in our rainy day fund, and we had asked to use some of that money to supplement these proposals, and they refused.
Yeah, that makes no sense, actually. I feel like the people who are going to be hurt most by this is the middle class, the people who are really getting hit from both sides. They're getting high taxes. They are getting trouble, meeting their bills. They're working hard. And a lot of them were actually working through COVID. And it almost seems like adding insult to injury. I just don't really see the motivation behind why they wouldn't want to provide some relief to the people who make Connecticut work. Do you see any justification for this decision? I mean, I'm trying to get inside the Democrat mind here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, their justification was they thought it was enough,
They
and
just
our
felt it.
justification was it's the worst time in our state's history with record high inflation, record high, you name it, groceries, gas, oil, heating, electricity. Just going to the supermarket, your food, everything's more expensive. So we say we want to fight for the residents of Connecticut and make it more affordable. This isn't making it more affordable. It's the worst time in our history in the state, and we're taking things away from people when this is the time when they need it the most.
Right. Well, yeah.
And Merry Christmas, everyone.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
terrible.
Yeah,
So
when
we're all sad about this vote.
Well, I was watching, the beginning of the session, and Governor Lamont came on, and he just seemed so upbeat that we're going to extend this until January 1st. When we're going to have the buses are going to be free. People are going to be able to apply for Operation Fuel. So he seems so upbeat on this, but at the same time, it's not going to happen for most lower class, if you will, middle class people that just get in their car, go to work every day, and have to pay extra gas bill, have to pay extra on their food bill, have to pay extra on everything that's going on. So it was a little frustrating to hear him come on and speak in such a positive manner, and things are going well, and all of a sudden the whole if you will, down party line just voted nope, we don't feel like you said. They said it's enough time.
Yeah, that
Exactly.
makes no sense.
And like we said, we have our record surpluses. That's what you use that money for when you come upon tough times. And if this isn't coming upon tough times, I don't know what is.
That's a great point.
Yep.
That's a great point. What would they do next for us? What's going to happen to the Connecticut residents when foreclosure on the house because they can't pay their bills and so on. And I don't want to sound pessimistic, but there's the whole point of the special session. Was it just, I know it was to extend the gas tax and what have you, but did you go in, I guess, thinking it was going to happen, thinking, okay, we're going to go in a positive direction now?
Listen, we're always optimistic, but we're also realistic.
Okay.
And we knew, what we were going against going into special session. We had our amendments that we were trying to make a positive change to help the residents of Connecticut. But like we found out today, it went party lines and they voted all our amendments and recommendations down.
Nicole, was there any upside at all to this vote on any of these amendments today for the citizens of Connecticut?
I mean, at the end of the day, our job is to help people in Connecticut. And
Right.
I ended up voting for this bill, even though there was so much in it I wasn't happy with. But if we can help residents a little bit, in my opinion, and this is just me, it's better than nothing. And this does help them a little bit, but we truly could have helped them so much more when they needed the help the most. And the Democrats decided not to help more. And we could have easily.
Would it have been better if each issue was separated in different bills? Do you think it would have made a difference?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I think it would have given people the opportunity to vote for things separately, like you said, because they could have voted yes for another one they didn't want to. Otherwise, like I said, you had a vote for whatever bill you either really liked or didn't like. And that was a reason for voting yay or nay.
So I have a question for you. The upcoming session after the new year, it seems like some of the issues maybe were kind of kicked the can down the road a little bit to the next session. What are your hopes for the session after the new year?
Well, our hopes going in every year are almost the same. Make Connecticut more affordable, have a reasonable budget, don't overspend, and keep our taxes low. And, we haven't really been doing that all that much. So we will continue to fight for all those things like we do every single year.
Hey, Nicole, this is Jimmy. We got to take a quick break. Do you mind hanging on for, let me see here, 24 seconds, and we're going to come right back to you. And I got another topic I want to ask you about. Is that cool?
Okay. Only 24 seconds, no more.
Okay, you got it. All right, everybody stick around. We'll come back with Nicole and Dr. Chai.
Want to have your show on CT Politics? If you produce a show on CT political issues or commentary and want to play it to the world, contact us now at ctpolitics.tv. We'd love to have you part of the team.
Alrighty, that was 24 seconds. Welcome
Exactly.
back to CT Politics Live TV. We are here with Dr. Amy Chai and our special guest, Nicole Claridis Detria. So my next topic for you, Nicole, is something a little more, a topic that I hold a little closer to the vest. I am a veteran, so I wanted to talk about hero pay. All right, because this topic was very, very upsetting to me, actually. When I read, that they were going to get $1,000 for doing this dangerous frontline job, I was ecstatic. I was happy for them. And now I read that some of them aren't even going to get $100. Can you explain to us why such a disparity now, please?
Well, from what we understand, when this was originally passed, there wasn't enough. They didn't anticipate all the people that would apply for this program. So they ran out of money. So their goal was to add more money to this hero pay and then change the parameters, because there's a income limit depending on how much you will get. So it starts at, if you make under 50,000, you'll get the, excuse me, $1,000 pay, and it goes up to, I believe it's 140 or 150,000. Someone making that much money will only get $100 bonus pay or hero pay. But part of the problem was the only people that qualified for it are the people that were in that category 1A or 1B. And it to me, everybody that worked during COVID, you know, should get something. But municipal, police, fire, EMS, no one qualifies for this.
Yeah, that's a shame.
And
And
it's one of those
especially
things-
the first responders, they really
Yes.
risk their lives in so many ways. And
Mhm.
that's just shocking and horrifying to me.
And it's picking, and to coin it, it's picking winners and losers. So we're saying you
Right.
qualify to be a hero, but you don't. But there were plenty of people that were out there every day, day in and day out. And some people that didn't qualify, for example, if you were a daycare owner and you shut down for 1 month during our technical COVID time and then reopened just that 1 month later, you don't qualify for this. You
Right.
had to be working the entire time during COVID. And it's like I said, it's picking winners and losers. And anybody that worked during COVID, you know, did an amazing job. And we thank everybody from the grocery store clerk to the doctor or nurse, anybody,
Yeah.
the postal worker, the police, the fire, EMS. So many people worked during COVID.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. They absolutely deserve every dime that was promised to them.
Mhm.
So I don't
Yes.
want, it's a different topic, but it's kind of on the same line here. What can you tell me about the $3,500 state employee contract bonus?
Oh,
Yeah, we voted on that last session, and that was just to say thank you for doing the job that you do. And because they're not in the private sector, which they could in theory be making more. So this is just to give them a little thank you. That's what we were told by the Democrats.
So this was a Democrat passed piece of legislation thanking the state employees with a $3,500
Yes.
bonus, and then coming out and saying we're going to give heroes $1,000 during COVID, but only if you make this much money, because the threat
Yes.
level changes with your income, right? I mean, I went to
Exactly.
war, and the guy who made $100,000 next to me was in just as much danger as I was, making $30,000. So that I don't understand how much money you make determines the threat level that you were in. And then we're going to thank state employees with a $3,500 bonus just because. Like,
And-
that doesn't make a lot of sense to
And,
me.
and
A lot
right,
of
and
them
the
weren't even at work.
$3,500,
yeah.
right, it wasn't across the board. There were, depending on what you did, it wasn't, everybody didn't get 3,500. Some people got less, but that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
But still, we're thanking them for having a state job that,
Yep.
you know, people are lucky. They should be happy they have their jobs. I mean, and they're
Exactly.
getting
That
their
was
cost
my
of living increases.
Oh
I was
my
just about to
gosh.
say
that was
that.
going to be my next point. I heard
Exactly.
Representative Scanlon kind of. I don't want to seem too partisan here, but I heard him kind of pat himself on the back for saving the people of Connecticut $330 million with this tax holiday that they've just voted to stop. All right, so that was a great savings and for the people of Connecticut. Well, if we save that much money, we have what was the total up in the surplus again? Now I can't remember how much the surplus was up to.
Yeah.
Was it 100? Well, it doesn't matter. My point is here that Representative Nuccio said that the Heroes Fund was only short $39 million, and if we funded it $39 more million, we could pay everybody what we promised them. if we've saved 330 million, according to Representative Scanlon, shouldn't we have that money somewhere?
Yes, we should. And that's what we asked them.
And did they give you
Yeah,
a
crickets,
reason
for
why
instance.
they're saving this money in this CT investment fund and not handing it out to any of our quote unquote heroes?
Well, that CT investment fund has been a quote unquote slush fund for things that they want to spend extra money on or money that they need. And I remember Tammy, Representative Nuccio, asking about that, and I think I may have been out of the chamber at that time, but I don't remember what Representative Scanlon's answer was to her. I don't know if do you remember what he said?
I believe it was to keep investing in the future of the state of Connecticut and making it more affordable.
Affordable for
Translation,
who?
they don't want to do what we right.
Exactly.
Right. Translation, they don't want to do what we're asking them to do. So that's it.
That's what I took away from it, Nicole. And look at Nicole. I really appreciate you spending this time with us.
Absolutely.
I would really appreciate it if you could keep staying with us. You know.
Yes, thank you.
So
my ride home go much quicker.
Thank you. Perfect. I heard that somebody, I can't remember who. I apologize. Proposed the diesel tax holiday, and the Democrats wouldn't even entertain the thought. Is that correct?
Can you repeat it again? I just lost you for a second.
Okay, yeah. A representative on the House Republicans brought up a diesel tax holiday and how they should we should take the chamber should take a vote on it tonight, and the Democrats shot it down. They wouldn't even take a vote on it. They didn't even want to entertain it.
Representative Case brought that amendment out, and it just would have extended the gas holiday to diesel gas as well. And they voted that down, as well. And then they voted down the amendment to extend the gas holiday to add diesel fuel. And as you know, starting January 1st is when the HUT tax, the highway use tax, starts. So our tractor trailer drivers now will be hit with this new tax that, again, they're not going to pay for out of the goodness of their heart. They're going to pass it along to us and our goods and services that is not making Connecticut more affordable.
Right.
Can you tell us more about the highway use tax, what that entails for people?
It requires the truck drivers to, in good faith, every month report to the state of Connecticut, DRS, how many miles they're logging in the state of Connecticut. Now, we've asked them, what's the mechanism to check on these people? It's all in the honor system. So if someone doesn't
you're kidding.
Who's going to chase said truck driver down?
Right.
Yeah, this sounds like a bill with no teeth. It'll only hurt the honest people.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Exactly.
There's a lot of laws like that only hurt people who obey laws. Interesting.
Yeah, and they're not thought through. You don't think about those unintended consequences either. That's the problem.
Right. Yeah.
So on a different note, I'm sure you've heard Senator Chris Murphy talk about the gun control laws and how he's pushing for those. I was wondering your thoughts. He had mentioned that cities and states that don't honor gun control laws, if you will, should, I guess he said, defund or less fund, if you will, their police. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, as the wife of a retired detective in the state of Connecticut, I think that's ridiculous. We have law-abiding gun owners in the state of Connecticut. Those are the only people it's going to hurt, is the law-abiding. Because if you're a bad guy or a bad girl, you're going to get guns no matter what. And those are the people that are going to hurt other people. The problem is with that is we have a mental health problem. Right. And those are the people that go out and shoot people and murder and kill. Until we fix that, I don't care what gun law we put on the books, it's not going to help our gun problem. And we
Well,
have some of the toughest gun laws in the country. We don't
We
need
do.
any more.
You're right. You're right. And I think about the Colorado
And defunding
shooter
the
there.
police is not going to help either.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
right.
that'll only
You're
make
right.
it
I'm
worse.
sorry. I said yeah, I said defunding the police will only make it worse.
No, absolutely,
make it worse.
absolutely. I think about the Colorado shooter there, all the red flag laws they have too, that still didn't even help. And I agree with
Right,
you
exactly.
so much. It's more of, I think to me, in my opinion, it was more of a talking point for him, something to get him a little bit of attention. I just don't feel like he's serious about it, but at the same time, you're right. It should be where, give incentives to criminals to not commit a crime. How's that? Something to that extent, if you will. Enough giving these passes to these criminals. And you're right, the mental health issue, Amy, I'm sure you know about that. That has to be addressed.
I do, and I would actually like to
how
ask
about this?
Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Go ahead, Nicole.
No, I just going back to the police. How about don't commit the crime, and then you won't have to do any time. I mean, I know it's a phrase that's coined, but don't get
No,
in
it's
trouble,
great.
then there won't be an
That's-
issue.
That's exactly.
Right?
That's
Sorry.
so much common sense, Nicole.
Right.
That's just like so much common sense that we can't even process it in our tiny
Right.
brains. So what do you think,
Exactly.
Nicole? What do you think about the idea of what we call assisted outpatient treatment? And if, just to clarify what that is, there's a certain amount of seriously mentally ill people who get to decide that they don't want to be treated. But there's something called assisted outpatient treatment that can help prevent some of these people from really going postal, if you will. Would you support assisted outpatient treatment?
I mean, I'll support anything that will help, our mentally, disabled people in the state. Anybody that has a mental health issue, if we can create a program or fix a program we have that will get them to the other side, then that's very important. And this last session, we put so much money into our mental health services. I'm hoping that all the money that they put in, that it fixes so many of these problems. We talk about, and I'm going to go back a little bit to even like juvenile offenders and adult offenders. Connecticut, and don't quote me, but I think we're either the top 2 or 3 most diversionary programs in the country. So if we have a program and it's not working, get rid of it and put something in there that's working.
Right.
Look at the other states. Look what they've done. Look at the success they've had with these programs. And if they're helping, let's take them and do it for ourselves. And that's what I always say. So I'm always willing to look and see what these programs can offer and what they could do to help the residents of Connecticut.
Stop making sense. Come on, Nicole. You mean
I'm sorry.
It's
it's
right.
like I can't handle all this.
I know.
Yeah, that's actually great.
Yeah,
It would
absolutely.
be wonderful if people could, gather data from other effective programs and try to analyze the effectiveness of what's going on in our state, and then kind of, do what works. But I bet there's going to be pushback on that, because I think people kind of get
there's
entrenched.
pushback. Yes, they do, but I think there's always pushback on any bill. There are always going to be people that don't want something, but sometimes you either have compromise or you don't like something, you just say no, and it'll still pass. So,
Representative Nicole Claridis, God Almighty, Deetria.
Deetria.
Yeah.
Deetria.
One of the 2 names.
So I'm gonna tell you how long we got. We have another 17-second break. So if you can stick on the horn for 17 seconds, I want to come back to you and I want to talk to you about the last topic, which is going to be kind of a silly one in my opinion.
Yeah.
But stick around and we're gonna be right back.
This is the home of the CT Strategist Report with Daniel Kent Newmeyer. Interviews with Connecticut's top leaders, expert political analysis, news, commentary. Gain the insider's perspective.
17 seconds and we're back with Dr. Amy Chai and our special guest representative, Nicole Claridis Detria. Yeah.
You did it.
Good job.
So the last thing, thank you very much. The last thing I wanted to bring up that was actually brought up in the special session today, and it was kind of a little confusing for me, was the bottle deposit. So is the state of Connecticut raising it to a dime?
Was it a dime or was it 5 cents? I thought they were making it 5 cents. Do we raise it? I don't know. I should know this answer, but what we did was there was a technical fix that needed to happen because this bill goes in effect, and the package stores and the liquor stores that have these still have inventory on their shelves. So they needed time to get rid of that old inventory before the new inventory with the bottle deposit on it goes into effect.
So
So it's going up from 5 cents to 10 cents. Is that what's happening?
Possibly.
I should know this, but I don't know if it's, I don't know that we had it before. I think it might be enacted to 5 cents starting. I don't, we have to look it up. I can't remember.
that would be in my opinion, that would actually be a smart move, because if, you go buy a soda, and you pay an extra dime and you bring it back, you get that dime back. Now, last year, the state of Connecticut collected $43.5 million on uncollected deposits that got transferred into the general fund. If we raise that to a dime, people that are ambitious enough will go get their dimes back. But if not, that's another $43.5 million into the general fund that we could put towards, I don't know, say the Hero Fund that only needs $39 million.
Right.
You like how I brought that back?
Again, common sense. I love it.
I
I
think
swear
that's a
to
great
God.
idea.
Let me ask you, Nicole, what do you think happened in these midterms? What do you think, that red wave that was supposed to happen all over the country, in the state of Connecticut even? What do you think happened? What are your thoughts?
My personal thoughts, I don't think we had as strong of a top ticket as we should have had. If we had a stronger top ticket, I think we would have done better on the bottom half of the ticket. That's my opinion.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
to know.
I think every race bears that out. You always have the down ticket coattail effect, and we really didn't see that at all this year.
Right.
So I think you're spot on with that. And I want to know, going back to today's session, what do you think was the biggest takeaway from today's session? And I guess this is the last for the year.
Yep. Well, the takeaway was the Democrats didn't want to compromise, and they didn't want to help the residents of the state of Connecticut as much as the Republicans did. We tried to, but we obviously were outvoted, and they felt that their way was the better way for the residents. But we wanted to help them more than they did.
Yeah, or maybe just for their own constituents. How they always manage to give out cash bonuses to people who tend to vote Democrat. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Maybe I'm
don't play politics, Amy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into it.
All righty. Well, hey, Nicole Claridis Detria. Nicole Claridis Detria. I truly, I truly appreciate your time, your insight, the special session that some of us witnessed today. It is really awesome and a privilege to talk to you. I hope you can come back another time and join us.
Thank you so much.
With your beautiful face on the screen.
Yes. Hopefully you're not driving and you can video in. That would be awesome.
Stay safe, Nicole.
Thank you so much for having me, and I wish everybody a happy, healthy holiday.
Oh, you too. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Take care.
Same to you. Take care.
Well,
But
guys, that was cool. We got a little
that was wonderful.
first-hand
That was
insight
really
there,
good.
huh?
Yeah, I'm
I love the
actually,
way she
I'm,
just thinks so.
yeah,
I love the way she thinks.
she's very, very smart, has great common sense ideas. I only wish that, she had a little bit more influence
Yeah,
in
yeah,
our House of
yeah.
Representatives.
Maybe
That
a
would
couple
be,
more backers. How about that? We could say,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Now, I
Yeah.
like the way she didn't pull any punches, right? She was just like, nope, that's stupid. No, that was common sense. She didn't politic that at all. She said what she meant, and she meant what she said, and it was refreshing, I would
Oh,
say,
absolutely. We need
right?
more
To
of this.
hear
This is
to
what
hear
we
from
need
a
more.
politician. I honestly was waiting for her to cuss. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Did you have your finger on the
I
mute
had it on
button?
the dump button always. I don't know if you saw me mess. Like I was waiting for her to cuss. She was great. I loved how just real, down to earth she was.
Yeah.
It was
Yes,
great.
absolutely. No, absolutely.
And
I like the way she, this is what we need from our politicians more, our elected leaders. That's the whole point, is they need to stand up for us. We elect them, we pay them. And when they
Not
kind of
very
let us
much.
down, I'm so frustrated. Yeah, but I'm so frustrated with what the Democrats did today. I'm sorry to say.
I know, me too.
I don't understand the mentality of, why don't you want to help the people of Connecticut? Why do you think it's enough? Like you said, Jimmy, you said about, the rainy day fund. It's in there. The money's there. People need to step up.
hey guys, don't you think it's a little weird how the liberals, the Democrats, are in control right now, and they don't want to spend any money, and the Republicans are
That is
not in
interesting.
control, who want to spend all the money.
That's very interesting. You're right.
That's true. Although, a lot of it isn't actually spending money, it's giving people back their own money. And I think that might
Reallocating,
be
that's
where
right.
the problem lies. I'm always in favor of taking away a tax.
Yeah.
Dr. Chai,
absolutely.
I was just going to ask you, you ran for what district again?
3rd District, Connecticut, yes.
3rd District against the purple-haired Delora. And what would you have said in those chambers today?
Well, she's a Congress in DC, but Rosa is our head of the appropriations of the whole United States, and she's the one who has approved
Spends all the
those
money.
tens of billions of dollars
Yes,
to the
yes.
Ukraine. And to think about, in my mind, it's not just the money, it's the fact that we are using Ukrainian bodies to die. So with our arms dealing, so that we can actually play politics with Russia. So I'm not into the whole proxy war thing in the first place, but to take that money away from people in America who are doing without, when our economy is in shambles and when people are struggling, when people can't afford medicine, food, and heat, in order to, just prolong a conflict. I just don't see that, but I'm sure other people disagree with me on that. But
what do you both think about? So, yes, I know the war in Ukraine and Biden's first day in office, getting rid of fossil fuels. What do you feel about this climate change and the volatility of the fossil fuels, the roller coaster? I know the Department of Energy Services today in Connecticut also stated that, they're doing procurements to help people. But at the same time, in the sense of, going out and assessing people's houses for solar panels and other, ways to save energy. Do you think it's the right time with all the suffering going on with people, gas prices? Do you believe we should be focusing on this?
Well, the problem is the science. There's a lot of problems with the science. We don't really have the infrastructure we need to transfer over to a low carbon or sustainable infrastructure. So I think from the higher ups, they don't really care. they don't care how much regular people suffer as long as they can, pursue their agenda, which would be basically to, force people to go into a zero carbon type of scenario. But they don't even grasp the science. It's like,
Right.
because what they're doing isn't going to solve climate change. And there's, but they want to do it anyway. And they want people to get off the
fossil fuel gas.
the comfort train. Get off the
Yes.
comfort train, people. Start eating bugs. Start freezing.
Right. It's just, why are they pushing this, especially now? Okay, I get it. You want to invest in other resources to, for energy. Understood. But we are not there. Like you said, stated Amy, the infrastructure is not there. The money's not there. We need to really how about looking at the people as opposed to what they want to push?
Because they don't care about the people.
All right. So,
Uh-oh.
you know how we've all been saying it, Connecticut mirrors and adopts the same policies as California.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's sad.
I am
It is
going to give you a Tucker Carlson moment and just give you my
Uh-oh.
straight opinion because we only have 3 minutes left of the episode.
Lay it on us. Lay it on us, brother.
Because
Yeah.
this topic, even if we just brought it back to the state of Connecticut, is a whole episode by itself. Okay, so here it is. The state of Connecticut wants these prices to be high. They want these
Yes.
prices to
I
hurt
agree.
people.
Yeah.
So we are forced to change our way of thinking into this
Yes.
green.
Oh, it's so necessary.
go
to have-
green.
yes.
So when Dr. Chai says they don't care, it's not that they don't care. They don't want you to be comfortable, right? They care just in the opposite way, right? They want you to suffer because now they're forcing us to find an alternate means.
Right. It's a behavioral modification.
There
Is what
you
it
go.
is. Yeah. Mhm.
I'm trying to stay
Yeah, what do
away from the words like brainwashing, behavioral modification. I'm trying
I
to
was
stay
gonna
away
say-
from them. Right?
I was going to say,
Well,
what do you think Dan and Joe are saying right now?
I know. Oh my
Well,
God,
no,
they
no,
hate me.
no. Actually, it's not a conspiracy or anything because
No,
in
it
my
isn't.
medical
You're right.
journals, we
You're
talk a
right.
lot about what we call them
Yes.
nudges, behavioral nudges, and that's where you use certain force to get people to do what you want in a sort of like a velvet fist type of
That's right.
way. And it's called behavioral nudges,
And I
actually.
hate
But
to
what it
say
is,
but it's
yeah.
always, it's always, and I don't know how else to state it. We want to be fair and balanced, but
Mhm.
it's always fear mongering. Okay, yes, the world's going to end in 12 years, or we won't have an earth for our children. I just find that to be more fear mongering than actually helping.
Well, saying that doesn't help a thing, right? I mean,
Right.
that's like saying, "Yeah, I'm going to run out of money in 4 days, but I'm not going to do anything about it."
Right.
But I'm going to complain in 4 days that I'm out of money.
Right. Exactly.
So look at guys, we're going to wrap up the show. We got 1 minute, but for anybody out there watching, anybody out there listening, viewing, do you really want? I would love to hear from you. Text or you can comment live on the show. Do you really want to go to all this EV? Is it really that important to you? Is it?
I love that question.
Yeah. Basically, is this a priority to you in your life right now to going green, right? To getting rid of your gas car, to get an electric one, to get rid of your furnace or your boiler and trying to go solar. Is this really what you want right now in today's day and age? Right. So I would love to hear from all our viewers, listeners, and anybody else that would love to write in and let us know. All right. All right, Michelle, you can.
Oh, that's great. Yes, I'll take it away. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Nicole Claritas Ditria, representative of the 105th District. Thank you to Dr. Amy Chai and Jimmy J in for Joe Aguirre. I'm Michelle Botello, and this is CT Politics TV Live. Have a great night.
CT Politics, we're cutting out the political bull. Yeah, I guess that about sums it up. Join in the fight now. Go to ctpolitics.tv to join the Connecticut Taxpayers Union.